Hello everyone. Today we will look into one of the serverless offerings of AWS, a managed servers which will help clients to connect to access other AWS services or data, which is AWS API Gateway. First of all, we will look into some theory lectures and then we will go for the hands-on exercise. Let's get started. AWS API Gateway. As illustrated in this picture, API Gateway acts as a front door for the mobile apps, web apps, or developer to access other services, especially backend services. It's a gateway. Okay. What is API Gateway? So API Gateway is a server that acts as a API front end. Okay. It acts as a API front end. Receive API requests from the clients, and also it has enforces the throttling and security policies, passes the request to the backend service. Whatever it receives, it will validate and it will pass to the backend service and then passes the response back to the requester. Okay. A gateway that often includes transformation engine to orchestrate and modify the request and response on the fly. So the request when we receive must be transmitted to the backend service the way that wants. So the API gateway have the mechanism to transform the messages using the body mapping templates. Okay. Also, the API gateway can also provide functions such as analytics data and providing caching. A gateway that provide the functionality to support authentication, authorization, security, audit, and regulatory compliance. Okay. So it's absolutely necessary to protect our API from unauthenticated access. So the API gateway provide all the functionality to support authentication and all. API gateway is a fully managed service. It's one of the major building block of serverless offerings of AWS that make easy for developers to create, publish, maintain, monitor, and secure API at any. So the API gateway acts as a front door for applications to access data, business logic, or functionality. Anything you want to expose to the outside, you can access it. You can provide it via API. Okay. Using API gateway, you can create RESTful APIs and WebSocket APIs. WebSocket APIs, client receive the updated information from the server. So it's a two-way communication type of applications. And API gateway support containerized and serverless workload. Okay. API gateway handle all the tasks involved in the accepting and processing up to hundreds of thousands of concurrent API calls. So it's including traffic management and CORS support. CORS is a browser-based security. So the API provides the CORS support, authorization, access control, throttling, monitoring, and API version management. API gateway has no minimum fees or startup cost. You pay for the API calls you receive and also amount of data you transferred out. With the API gateway tiered pricing model, you can reduce your cost as your API usage scales. In order to do the hands-on exercise on AWS API gateway, we'll have a similar table on AWS DynamoDB, like a product table. Okay. So it has a product code, product name, description, and unit price. So we'll have a same table in DynamoDB and we will see how to expose this table outside via API gateway, and we will let clients to do the insertion or updations like sort of CRUD operations. We'll see how to upload, how to add a data or update data and get data and delete data. Okay, we'll do all sort of CRUD operations against this DynamoDB table. So let's get started. Now I am in the AWS Management Console. Let me go to the DynamoDB service. Now, in order to speed up the development, I have created the table already, product info. If you select the product info, this has the product code as a partition key, and click explore items. You will see the product code, description, product name, and unit price. Similar structure which I shown in the last slide. Okay, so the table is ready. Now we can quickly go to the API gateway and walk through the sections of API gateway and then proceed with the demo. Okay, for API gateway, I have exposed this DynamoDB table functionality, create functionality in Lambda functions. Let us focus on the get product feature. So I created a function, Lambda function f and get product, which will serve for API gateway, incoming API gateway, and it will receive the product code, and it will search, it will filter, and it will provide, it will talk to the DynamoDB and get the product information, complete product information, and send back to the client. So let us go through this code. I have already published a video tutorial how to do the CRUD operations on DynamoDB. You can look into that for this hands-on for this Lambda functionality. So we are simply referring the client DynamoDB package, and we instantiate the client. Okay, I created the product table name as an environment variable. Okay, in the Lambda function. Okay, so the handler function, what it is doing, it has a command object. The command object is referring to the product table, which we have seen last slide. Okay, the command object contains the information like key condition expression. We have key condition expressions product code equal to product code, the incoming product code. The incoming, what is incoming product code? E dot product code. E comes from the event. So the event, in the event we are passing the product code alone. Okay. So based on the expression attribute values, then we will have the projection expression, product code, product team, description, and unit price will be returned. Okay, and the response, the doc client, we push the command and we get the response and we send the data to the client. Let us go and see the event data. If you see the event data, okay, this is sample test. If you see the event data, from the event we are only sending the product code 103. If you go to the DynamoDB table, we have one record. 103 is a product code. If you see, I am simply passing the 103 product code. Okay, if I test, I get the success code 200 and I get the complete data. Okay, for 103. Okay, so our Lambda function is ready. F and get product, which will receive the product code as and in the event, and it will fetch the information from the DynamoDB table for the 103 product code, and it will get the result and send this result back to the API. So we have completed this Lambda function. Now we'll go to the API gateway and we'll walk through and create our API and do our first API get product. Okay, let's proceed to the API gateway. Okay, let us proceed for the API creation. So in the search box of AWS Management Console, type API Gateway. You will find API Gateway option. This is the API Gateway Management Console. You will find option to create new API. Okay, this button, Create API. Click here to create API. You will find various options to create API. This time we are going to create a REST API. Okay, REST API is a stateless standard way of client communicate to the server. Okay, REST type of API. So click here, click to build. Okay, build option, build button. You'll have option to provide more information on this create REST API. So create a new API, give the name. So now we are going to create a API for the product. Let's say my product API. Okay, let's have this name. The default settings are fine. It must be the regional resource for our hands-on and create API. Once API is created, the next step is you have to create a resource. Resource is nothing but a path. So you will create a path. That second step, create a resource. So from the root, you have a resource name. Let us keep it like products. Okay, the resource name product. Since we are exposing the products information, we keep it like a product. And click this button, check marks, course. This is required to the clients from various different domain, to send a pre-flight request, so the server can accept such a request now by this cars header. Okay, so cars create resource. Okay, now our resource has been created. So we have gifted with options method, which is nothing but pre-flight. It will help to provide the pre-flight request. Okay, and products. Inside the products, we'll have another path. Okay, for example, this hands-on will do the get the product. Okay, so create another resource. Under the products, we'll pass a product code. Okay, so I'm passing the product code is a path parameter. So I'm providing the flower brace product code. Close the flower and cars. The cars. So under the products, we'll provide the product code. Okay, as a path parameter. Okay, create resource. So our resources created successfully. So under the products, product code. Okay, under the product code, we have to create a method. It's a get method. Okay, so we'll create a get method. The method type, you will see various methods of HTTP. So today we are going to look into the get method. Okay, we are going to get the product information. So select a get. Once you have the get, the method can be integrated with various services. Okay, the ideal combo is lambda function. So ideal combo is lambda function. We have lambda function ready, but still you can integrate with other HTTP endpoint. Literally, you can integrate with any AWS service backend. Okay. So now we have lambda function ready. So let's select lambda function, and from here you select your lambda function. Okay. So I am selecting F and get a product lambda function here. So everything is fine. Method request settings. You will find we are not validating. We are not authorizing. Giving any. It's open to any client for this hands-on. And request a path. We provide a path parameter. Is a product code. Okay. Okay. Create method. Our method is being created. Yeah. Done. You will see method request. Okay. So you will see four sections like method request. The client is sending the request. This is the object, the object is method request. The client, whatever client send, this will be as a method request. Then the same request will be, sending to the backend lambda function. So this is going as an integration request. Okay. And from the client, from the backend service, we receive the response that is called integration response. From the integration response, we are sending as a method response, which will be going to the client. So method request and method response both are tied with client. This is what we receive from the client and we are sending back to the client. But integration request and integration response both are tied with our backend service. So we can the API gateway provide mechanism to transform the request, incoming request, whatever we receive from the client, and before sending to the backend service, we can change the message, change the data, or transform the message and send the way the backend service require. Okay, so that is called. It is using the body mapping template to transform such a request. Okay, we'll see that in few seconds. In the method request, let's go to the integration request. Okay, if you remember the lambda function require our lambda function fn get product. This needs, if you notice, the object, the event must be like simply product code, nothing else. But if you look into the standard API gateway, it will send complete request, okay, which we don't want. So we need to somewhere pass only the required information. So to do that, we have to select this integration request, click integration request, and you will find mapping template. Okay, so we have to send the mapping template, edit, provide the map using the mapping template, integration request, click edit, go to the mapping template and add mapping template. The content type is application.json. Okay, template body will provide this template body. I copy and paste template body. So the backend service require product code. Okay, this is the only required data, product code, nothing else. So we were only passing the product code we receive in the parameter, path parameter. So this is called body mapping template in the VTL language, input.params product code. Okay, that's it. Click save. So we have API and we provided the integration request and we provided the mapping template for it. Okay, if you open it, you will find we are only passing the product code. Okay, now this time we have to deploy this API. Let's deploy, click new stage. Let's say this is the dev stage. Click deploy. Our API is being deployed now. Yes, deployed. So we are in the stages section, products, product code, and get method. You will see the complete URL of this service. Click here, this link, and open the Postman. Okay, Postman is a tool you can test your API and copy the complete URL. Okay, it's a get method, and instead of this template just type 103. We have product information for 103. If you remember 103, and click send. Congratulations, you received output. Okay, status code 200, which is success, and the data comes nicely. Product code, description, unit price, product name. Excellent. So this way the client is a postman. Postman send method request. It will we are transforming the request in the integration request, which is calling the lambda function. The lambda function then, or the lambda function talk to DynamoDB and get the data and send it back to the client. Okay, we have the output here. Okay, in next video we will look into other HTTP methods like post method, how to send data to the DynamoDB, as well as how to remove data or update data. Okay, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lecture. Bye.